There's a strange power we all possess. Not in our hands, not in our wallets, but in our attention. And it's so quiet, so invisible that most people die without ever realizing that it was shaping everything around them. You want to know why your life feels stuck, why nothing ever changes, why certain patterns repeat over and over again. It's not bad luck, it's not fate. It's because what you focus on becomes your reality. This isn't a motivational quote. It's a psychological fact. Your brain is a filtering machine. It processes over 11 million bits of information per second. But your conscious mind can only handle about 40. That means your mind is constantly choosing what to see and what to ignore. And what's the filter? Your focus. What you dwell on, obsess over, give energy to, that becomes the lens through which you see the world. The rest, it might as well not exist. Let's make this brutal. If you focus on betrayal, you'll see deception everywhere. If you focus on failure, you'll miss every opportunity. If you believe life is unfair, every moment will feel like proof that you're cursed. But flip it. If you focus on solutions, you'll start finding doors where others only see walls. If you focus on growth, even your pain will become fuel. And if you focus on purpose, the noise of the world fades and your path becomes clear. But most people never take control of their focus. They let the world decide for them. Social media trains your brain to chase outrage. The news programs you to expect disaster entertainment, hijacks your imagination, planting seeds of fear, lust, envy, and distraction. And before you know it, your inner world, your thoughts, your moods, your self-worth is being dictated by a screen. You're not living, you're reacting. And that right there is the death of personal power. You ever notice how two people can go through the same event and come out with totally different stories? One man loses his job and says, "I'm worthless." Another loses his and says, "This is my chance." Same event, different focus, different outcome. That's not philosophy, that's neurology. Because what you focus on literally rewires your brain through a process called neuroplasticity. The more you focus on something, good or bad, the stronger the connections in your brain around it become. Focus turns thoughts into beliefs, and beliefs into identity. So if you constantly focus on your flaws, guess what? You'll start to believe you are broken. If you focus on your past mistakes, you'll start to think that's all you are. But if you start focusing even just a little on what's possible, on who you could become, on what you're grateful for, your mind starts to rebuild itself, and over time your reality begins to shift. Not because the world changed, but because you changed your focus. But let's go deeper. Focus is not just about what you see, it's about what you create. Every action you take is driven by what you're paying attention to. Focus creates momentum. If your focus is scattered, so is your energy. If your focus is on what's missing, your life will always feel empty. But when your focus is locked in, when you know exactly what you want, and you direct your mental energy like a laser, the universe starts to move. Opportunities show up. People notice doors open. Not because magic happens, but because you are finally aligned. There's a reason why elite performers, leaders, and thinkers treat their focus like gold, because they know what you focus on grows not instantly, not without effort, but consistently. And over time it becomes your reality. Your thoughts shape your focus shapes your actions, and your actions carve out the world you live in. But here's the twist. Most people miss. You are always focusing on something, even if you're unaware. And what you don't consciously focus on, you unconsciously absorb. That's why your environment matters. That's why your inner dialogue matters. That's why the people you spend time with matter. Because your focus is like soil. Whatever seeds are planted will grow. If you're surrounded by negativity, drama, laziness, don't be surprised when your life mirrors that. You didn't choose it, but you allowed it. And that's the moment everything changes. The moment you take ownership, you stop being a passive observer and become the architect. You stop saying, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What am I focusing on that's keeping me here?" That shift from blame to awareness is the beginning of freedom. Because if your focus creates your reality, then taking control of your focus is how you take back control of your life. This isn't about toxic positivity or pretending everything is perfect. It's about understanding that your focus is your most powerful weapon, or your greatest trap. Use it with intention and you rise. Use it carelessly, and you'll live the same year 80 times and call it a life. So the question is simple but dangerous. What are you focusing on right now? Because that's what you're becoming. That's what you're building. That's the world you're creating. Moment by moment, thought by thought in part. 2. We'll go deeper into how to break focus loops, reprogram your subconscious filters, and train your mind to become a magnet for opportunity, clarity, and power. Because awareness is just the beginning. The real transformation happens when you use your focus, like a king wields a sword. Stay locked in. Here's the truth. Most people never realize. Your mind has a focus pattern, and it's not always working for you. If you wake up every day thinking about your problems, comparing yourself to others, scrolling endlessly, reacting to negativity, that's not just a bad habit. That's a neural algorithm running your life on autopilot. And it's building a reality you never consciously chose. But here's the good news. Just like you programmed your mind to focus on fear, drama, or insecurity, you can reprogram it. And it doesn't start with motivation. It starts with awareness. The first step to changing your reality is to catch your focus in the act. Every time you feel anxious, ask, what am I focusing on right now? Every time you feel stuck, drained, distracted, pause and look inward. Is your mind in the past? In the future? Is it locked onto problems or solutions? This act of mental interruption is powerful, because once you bring unconscious focus into the light, you take back the reins. But awareness isn't enough. You need to redirect, and that takes practice. Not because it's hard, but because your brain is addicted to its own patterns. This is where the real training begins. You need to build what high performers call a focus ritual, a set of deliberate habits that shift your attention back to power, back to clarity, back to purpose every morning before the world has a chance to infect your mind. Take 5 minutes to lock in your focus. Write down 3 things. What matters today? What do I want to feel? What do I want to move toward? These simple questions act like a GPS for your attention. Without them, you're lost in the noise. With them, you move with intention. Next, eliminate focus vampires. These are the distractions that disguise themselves as harmless notifications, toxic people, pointless arguments, the 30-second dopamine hits that drain hours of your life. Every time you say yes to these, you're saying no to your future. And here's the dark truth. Your energy follows your focus. If your attention is scattered, so is your life. If your attention is contaminated, so is your mindset. So clean your mental environment. Curate what you watch, who you listen to, what you feed your mind, because your brain is always absorbing. If you're surrounded by people who complain, you'll start to look for things to complain about. If your feed is full of chaos, your mind will crave it. But if you surround yourself with vision, strength, discipline, and ambition, your focus will rise to meet it. But even more powerful than what you cut out is what you add, and nothing will train your focus faster than solitude. Sit in silence. No phone, no music, just your breath and your thoughts. It'll be uncomfortable at first, because you're not used to hearing yourself think without distraction. But this is where the war is won. Because when you can sit still and command your focus, you become unstoppable. You also need to understand, this focus is not about intensity. It's about returning. Even the sharpest minds get distracted, but the strongest ones know how to come back again and again. Every time your mind drifts and you bring it back to purpose, you're building mental muscle, you're rewiring the circuits, and over time, what once required effort becomes your default. This is why people who master focus seem so powerful, because they've eliminated noise and locked onto a signal. They're not better than you. They've just trained their mind to see what matters and ignore the rest. And in a world addicted to distraction, that kind of clarity is terrifying. It's magnetic. It makes people stop and look, because it's rare. And rare is powerful. Let's go deeper. There's a hidden layer to focus that most people never tap into: emotional anchoring. Your brain attaches emotion to what you focus on. That's why you remember that one insult from years ago, but forget 100 compliments. It's why a failure can haunt you longer than a victory. The key: use this mechanism to your advantage. Anchor your focus to emotions that drive you, not drain you. When you visualize your goals, don't just see them, feel them. Feel the pride, the freedom, the peace. Train your nervous system to crave that vision, because the stronger the emotional imprint, the stronger your focus will lock on. This isn't fantasy. It's how your mind works. Emotion fuels focus, and focus drives action. Here's what it all comes down to. Reality isn't fixed. It's fluid. It bends and shapes itself around your attention. Two people can live in the same city, earn the same money, have the same opportunities, and live completely different lives. Why? Because their focus is different. One sees limitation, the other sees growth. One sees competition, the other sees collaboration. One sees chaos, the other sees strategy. And slowly those perspectives become worlds, and those worlds become identities. You are not your past, you are not your environment, you are not even your thoughts. You are the observer of those thoughts, the chooser of focus. And in that choice lies your power. Every day you have the ability to shift, to refocus, to rebuild your internal world, and by doing that remake your external one. So the question is no longer, what's holding me back? It's what have I been choosing to focus on? And more importantly, what will I choose from now on? Because once you realize that what you focus on becomes your reality, the excuses dissolve, the waiting ends, the power returns to where it always belonged in your hands, and that's when everything changes. If this message hit you deep, it's because a part of you knows it's true. You've felt it, that pull towards something greater, that quiet voice that says, I'm meant for more. Don't ignore it. Feed it. Train it. Focus it. Because the life you want isn't out there. It's already taking shape inside your mind. If you found value in this video, hit that subscribe button. Share it with someone who needs to hear it and turn on the notifications, so you never miss a drop of psychological fire like this. This isn't just content, it's your mental arsenal. Until next time, stay sharp, stay focused, and remember, you are one thought away from a completely different life.